Okay, my couture crafters, I have gotten a bunch of requests for non-traditional colors. So here are some non-traditional colored cards for the holidays. Right now, I'm playing with some masking tape. This is Blue Painter's tape. I purchased it off of Amazon and I really, really like this tape because it comes in different thicknesses. I think I got like half an inch, maybe 3/4 an inch, maybe a half an inch. I don't know. I got three different sizes and it makes me happy. So you see, I just stretched it out across this card. Nothing special there. I'm using Catherine Pooler inks because, well, they're amazing. And they stay wet long enough for you to do a blend without it being an issue. I decided to try the Spellbinders foam. That's the one on the right, which is super dense. It's like a really nice cosmetic sponge versus the Ranger, which is a little bit more foamy, like styrofoamy. You can kind of tell the difference. The Spellbinders one is a little bit larger, and it's meant to work with their 7-in-1 or 3-in-1 tool, which I have, but I just use the Ranger Distress blenders instead with the Spellbinders foams just to see if they are indeed easier to blend with. And you know what? Honestly, they're so much more expensive than the Ranger ones. I think I just prefer to stick with the Ranger ones. And now Hobby Lobby has their own brand of these, and Michaels might have their own brand. You used to only be able to get them through Ranger, but now everybody has them. So this is just a blending tool with a sponge on the end. Grab it, grab some ink, and let's play. This part I slowed down so that you can actually see what it looks like in real time. It's just little circles. Some people say, oh, you need to have so much pressure. Some people say you need to do it with a light pressure so that you can get an even blend. Honestly, get some good smooth paper. I'm using Nina 80-pound paper and figure out what technique works best for you. Because honestly, it's kind of up to you how you're going to do it. Now with this card, I wanted it darker on the edge and then lighter as it goes toward the tape. So you're going to see more saturated color toward the edge. You start off the paper and just swirl your hand on. The only way to learn how to do this is to do it. You have to play with your stuff, guys. Another trick about getting a smooth blend is not being scared to go back over your colors a few times. So if I come up with a harsh color, like a harsh edge, I'll go back over and blend it out with the lighter color. That's really the trick to it. Other than that, it's not that serious. People get so scared of it and all of that. Don't be. You just have to play with your stuff. Blending is a technique that stampers use. You can get beautiful backgrounds and masking and it's just fun. So grab yourself a blending stump. Usually you can get 2 of these blending tools in a pack. And then a pack of rounds shouldn't be very expensive. You can grab it with a Michaels coupon or a Hobby Lobby coupon, 40% off, and have some fun. So I'm speeding it up now and I'm going back and forth and just playing with the colors until I get something that I like. And here I think is where I stop. Now don't freak out. You're going to freak out, but don't freak out. I'm removing this and look, the paper is coming up. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I've ruined my card. Yes, the card is ruined. Is it that serious? Absolutely not. This is what I should have done. Take that same tape and put it on your pants. Put it on the floor, put it on your comforter. Take some of the tackiness off. I touched it to my pants about 3 or 4 times. I put it on my arm maybe twice. Just enough to get the tack off of there so it's not so tacky, but it'll still stick to your surface. Something else is I'm actually sticking the card down to my work surface so that it doesn't move around. That's very, very helpful. Don't freak out. It's masking tape. You have to see how your masking tape is going to behave with your particular cardstock. This is the first time I had used this particular masking tape, so I didn't know how tacky it was going to be. Again, I took that same masking tape and I just rubbed it on my pants. I think I had on jeans, rubbed it on my shirt, rubbed it. And then you can test it to see if it'll peel off. But I like to blend. So if I had to blend another card, I was not going to freak out. It was just not that serious. Don't take your art too seriously. Have fun with it. So again, I am focusing the color on the right hand side of this card. But when you're removing tape, peel it back on itself. Don't try to pull it another direction. Pull it right back on itself. That's the best way to get it to release properly. So look, I'm putting it on my arm. It's still tacky. I'm like, nope, I'm not cutting another piece. I'm going to take that piece, unroll it, put it on my arm, put it on my pants, put it on my shirt, put it everywhere. Not scared, tape it down. Make sure that it's actually taped to my work surface too. Grab some more Catherine Pooler inks, because why? Because they're awesome. I'm using Lime Ricky, Something Borrowed, and Suede Shoes. I call that color Blue Suede Shoes because it's blue. And I feel like it should be named Blue Suede Shoes, even though it's just suede shoes. Whatever. Catherine didn't call me before she named it. It's okay. Suede Shoes. Love that color. It's probably one of my favorites. Before I used Tutti Frutti, Flirty Fuchsia, and Grape Crush. Grape Crush is another one of my favorites. Obviously, I like super saturated color. Again, I am making sure that most of the color is focused on the right-hand side of this card, and then we're just going to pull it in. I'm just using little swirling motions. I'm starting off the paper. If you start on the paper, you're going to get a big circle, and it will be very, very difficult to blend out. You might not be able to blend it out. I'm coming up from the bottom of the card. I'm coming around the sides. I'm just playing. Again, I use these Spellbinder little foam circles. I just don't think they're worth the money. You see that? A little bit of the paper came up, not freaking out. We're just going to come the other direction. No worries. Nice, clean, crisp edge. I tore a little bit of the paper on the bottom. So what you do is take a little sand eraser and just sand your paper down. That's a sand eraser. You'll see them in the stores. It feels like sand and it makes a mess, but it will smooth out your paper. That's another way to remove little spots of ink if you ever get spots of ink on there. This is not about layering stamps, not this particular video, it's about blending. But that is a layering stamp by Altenew. And I just chose a couple of color combos to see which ones I like best. And it turned out that I like this combo the best. So I think I stamped Something Borrowed and then Suede Shoes. I just used 2 layers. And for the other one, I stamped Flirty Fuchsia and then Grape Crush came over it. I just used 2 layers. This is my favorite, well, my second favorite stamp from that Tim Holtz Christmas Time Stampers Anonymous stamp set. You guys, I am in love with that stamp set. That stamp set is getting a ton of use this year from me. He just dropped it this year, but I'm just saying I have used it repeatedly. I love this print. The best typography ever. For the sentiment, I'm using the VersaFine Clear ink. It's just crisp. I could have used Catherine Pooler's. I just didn't. It wasn't sitting there in front of me. The other one was closer. I am cleaning that off. It's important to clean it off between stamping between your cards. I couldn't just put the other card there because they weren't exact. So make sure you clean your card off, clean your stamp off first before stamping again. Otherwise, you're going to get a ghost of that Christmas greetings. Don't do that. So here I'm trying to figure out where I want to place the bow. Because how long this card is 8.5 inches. I couldn't have the bow hanging off of it. So I ended up having to put the bow fully on the card. Not a big deal. It came out just fine. I'm using some art glitter glue. Remember, you don't have to put glue on the whole thing because half of it's going to be hanging off. You're just going to cut that half off. Because we like our cards long, sleek, and sexy, don't we? So I'm grabbing a guillotine cutter. Why? I could have done it with scissors, but hey, I have all these tools. I might as well use some of my stuff. Then we're going to do the same thing for the blue and green because somebody requested a lime green Christmas card. Here you go. You got it. Lime green. There she is. I just put that black piece of paper there to kind of see what it was going to look like. Just trying to envision it. Just put glue halfway on there. Made sure that the knot of the bow was on the card. Otherwise, it just looks like a fluffy mess. You don't know what that thing is. But as long as the little center part is there, you can recognize that it's a bow, half a bow. I use that very expensive, lovely bone folder that I tell everybody they should get. I'm thinking about doing a video about what Christmas gifts would be great for crafters. A Teflon bone folder that's $25 might not be something that you would buy for yourself because it's very expensive and you don't know if you're going to play with it. But as a gift, that might be kind of cool. So I'm using the Sentiments set from Altenew, their Christmas one. I love it. I think it says wishing you blessed something. I don't know. It just is full of sentiments and it makes me happy. I'm thinking about using my stickles. I don't know why people don't use stickles anymore. Yes, I do, because Nuvo drops came out. And although I like Nuvo, I was trying to use my stickles, but that didn't work out. It didn't have a color that I was comfortable with. So for the purple card, I chose to use Glossy Accents, also by Ranger. And all this is a super clear kind of adhesive. Well, yeah, it's an adhesive. It's going to dry crystal clear, even though it's coming out milky. I want it to have more little ornament type balls at the bottom and it to kind of get smaller as they go up. This comes with a nice pointy nozzle on it, so it's not an issue. And it comes out domed, so you don't have to worry about that either. Very, very easy to use. And this is just going to give the illusion of little ornaments on my super modern Christmas tree there. And for the other one, I decided to actually use the Nuvo drops. I thought the tip was clogged, so I played with it a little bit. But it ended up coming out just fine. Not an issue. So for this one, I just did dots and I went heavier at the bottom and then they kind of fade out at the top. No rhyme or reason, just dotting, dotting, dotting. I actually had a lot of fun. I personally would have left these cards plain, but they just seemed too plain for everybody else. So I added the little dots. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I sure do appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next card.